All right, guys. So welcome, Austin, to this amazing call that we have just initiated because you have been making some great results lately in the last few months. Tell me, dude, how is the business going? And tell me a little bit how this one started.
Sure. So firstly, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm very excited to share my experience. Basically, this all started, I would say, last year when I was in college. I was really focused on mobile app development, a lot of computer science, narrated stuff. So I'd basically build my own SaaS companies, build my own mobile apps. But the pitfall of that is you spend so much time behind your desk coding, and you have to wait months on end to finally get a handshake and get a deal. So
Mm.
I think it was 4 or 5 months I was building this huge company, didn't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I figured, what is a way for me to literally shake a hand right now and get some payment in return? So from there, I found ecom. Last year, I guess in December, and during quarter 4, I was more into TikTok and Facebook dropshipping.
Mm.
But for me, that would just completely burn money. I would always tell these people on TikTok organic as well, where they would have a really, really good 2 or 3 weeks and then literally making 5% profit margins, and then from there it kind of goes down. So I guess in maybe April of this year, I looked into Google Ads dropshipping. I saw Hank's channel, and a lot of the stuff that he was saying kind of resonated with me. It's very long term. Um, it's very sustainable. It's also very reliable, Google Ads.
Yeah.
So from there, I also realized that it was kind of untapped. A lot of people weren't talking about it. And I'm like, all right, how can I get to this gold rush as soon as I can? So I joined the community, and it's been nothing but great so far. Last month, I almost cleared 10K a month from literally making absolutely nothing. I was negative 500 in March or so. And last month, I just had 9.5K in profit. So
Yeah, that's profit. And what was the revenue? Like 30K?
the revenue was 24K, I believe. So
Oh,
around
that's pretty nice.
39%, 40%
Yeah.
profit.
Your profit margins are insane. And just for everyone that's not familiar with it, like Hank is my media buyer. Hank, together with Hank, I run a Google Ads agency. And of course, he teaches that the same stuff that we do for clients, we teach it in the community. You're in the community as well. And you just made one switch to the new strategy, and this was instantly making able to scale further because you did dropshipping before, of course, like in April or March, like you told me. What was the trajectory? How did it went?
Sure. So I guess I started the store in April.
Yeah.
From there, I think that month I probably cleared around 10K within the first 30 days. That was just the very standard Google ads. That was with a thing called max UPC shopping ads. And
Hmm.
then I guess on March 19th, I found out about the community. I made one switch to a pmax campaign. And from 10K in 30 days, I went to 10K in 2 weeks. So I
Yeah.
literally doubled my revenue, doubled my profits, doubled everything. Just a matter of joining this community and making that one little tweak to pmax. So I guess the first month started out pretty well. That's just, I feel how Google goes. And then next month took off from there. And then it was 9.5K in June of this year. And I'm shooting for a 15 plus K profit month this
Yeah,
month
that
for
was my
July.
next question. How is it going in July? Is it still stable? It's still going well?
Yeah, so we're doing better than last month already. We also have a couple different stores launching, and I feel I can make this the month where I finally clear around 15K profit. I think I'd be
Nice.
happy with.
Nice. And what would be do you have like a certain goal for this year that you want to hit for like a certain month revenue? What are you working to?
I think quarter 4, I definitely want to hit it hard. I think this kind of portion of my life is just building up my savings, building up my experience. But then when I officially make that move over out of the United States, I want to go all in. And I think a goal would be for the end of the year. I think by next year, I want to be driving a McLaren 720S. So I think whatever is going to get me to that level, I think a good goal I'm putting for myself this year would be quarter 4. I really want to make it hard. So 300K, 500K profit, I guess would be a good benchmark for me. And I think I'm on the way up there.
Yeah, nice. And what was the biggest change that you saw after switching from like Facebook, TikTok to Google? What's the instant change that you saw?
Instant change is a lot of stress was relieved. I don't have to worry about offers. I don't have to worry about short-term gains. This was more of a long-term and very consistent play. So I basically, set up my store with the help of my VAs, and then from there, just let Google Ads do its thing.
Yeah.
So very rewarding and a lot of hands off as well.
All right. And did you also like see the increasement in instability and the revenue in the ROAS style? This something that you were used to with Facebook and Google Ads and TikTok ads as well?
Facebook and TikTok, it's a black box. I feel like you can make it very well if you do the right things at the right time at the perfect location. I think
Yeah.
with Google, it's just about products, just about niche research, and those are kind of like the two biggest things. Those are the foundation of Google Ads. The ROAS is very consistent. This month, it's literally been a plus or minus 10%. So it really stays profitable for very long.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff that I always notice as well. And this is the funny thing that I noticed. Nobody is talking about this kind of stability in drop shipping, because a lot of people think that drop shipping is up, down, up, down. And of course, like every business is up and down, up and down. But you can, if Google is the foundation of your whole business, all other platforms will be an additional bonus to your whole business. So what are your plans with the sales channels? You are going all in with Google this year, or what do you have in mind?
I think the best way to explain it is I know how Facebook and TikTok kind of generates demand for a product. Google, you're just funneling demand into a product. So I think, like you said before, like Google is such a long-term play. I think I'm going to have that just as the baseline to keep money coming in. And then Q4, I definitely want to hit it hard with Facebook, because I know you can reach those 100K weeks, 200K weeks. And I think that's a lot easier to do with Facebook. I do think, like I said before, it's kind of a black box, and Google is more long-term, but I think there's still money to be gained in that app.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like 100K, 200K weeks. That's doable with Google as well. And you're in the USA market, right? You're just running your store in the US market, and you're making stores as well.
Yeah, so all the profits I spoke about was just one niche store in the USA. But then a couple of weeks ago, I just launched a store in the Netherlands. It's focused on, home decor, like very, I guess, 1,000 product store. If I can redo that, honestly. So yeah, just the profits that I spoke about were just in one niche store in the USA. But a couple of weeks ago, I did release a store for the Netherlands. And I think the store has had 3 orders so far with, I think, €1,000 total. So very high OV. Nice. And my ROAS for this week is sitting at a 4.5. So I think the strategies that you're presenting, they literally step for step, step for step.
Yeah. Did you notice the value that we provide in the community? Because like I know why you're in the core niche, because of course we are in the core niche as well in the community. Do you think that's it opened your eyes to like this new strategy and to even see bigger numbers that you ever thought about?
100%, absolutely 100%. Coming in, I mean, I was kind of lost in the space. There weren't a lot of people speaking about it. When I joined the community, I was really presented with a step-by-step strategy on how to make it. And this opened my eyes with 1,000+ products using empty-only pmax feed campaigns. These are things that I always heard about, but I didn't have that, or I guess, reinforcement to that idea. But I guess, yeah, it literally changed my entire life, and it changed my trajectory with Google Ads as well.
Yeah, because take us back a little bit to your life trajectory as well. You're still living with your parents. I know you're making some big moves as well. We're going to talk about it later on. But how was it? You were in college, like even this year, you dropped out of college. Take us back to the decision that you made, because a lot of people that are watching right now, they are like maybe also working a 9-to-5 or doing a college as well. And they want to move out this rat race as well. They want to escape the matrix, like Andrew Tate would say. What is how did that went for you?
That's really the best way to put it. I guess escape the rat race is a huge thing. I guess I've always found fulfillment and freedom, but it'd be like saying what I want, doing what I want at different times of the day, just having complete control and bargaining with life on my own terms. I think that was something I was very, very passionate about. And I think with ecom kind of gave me that outlet where it's, I don't have to pursue a bachelor's degree. I don't have to pursue a master's degree, and I'm working for someone else the rest of my life. Even if I landed a good job, I still feel like I wouldn't feel fulfillment in my life if I was working for somebody else and couldn't keep raising the ceiling and making moves on my own terms.
Yeah. And that makes now that you're more able to make better choices, to feel more freedom, because now you dropped out of college. Like when was it?
This was about, I'm gonna say a month ago. I finally made the decision, and then I just made the decision last week to move countries and live in Bangkok, Thailand by myself. I think just changing my environment is going to play a huge role in my business.
What did your parents tell you when you just told them this plan?
They were not happy. They were not happy. I think it took a lot of convincing, but once I was able to prove to them that it's a very consistent growth, and even if I can't sustain this for 3 years, 4 years, I'm sure with the time and with the knowledge I'm going to have, literally just writing copy and networking with people. Like these are all real world skills and I can apply to everything. So I guess it comes down to the point where it's either I pivot to a different field of e-commerce or a different field in entrepreneurship, or I just keep pushing through it.
Yeah. And what's your thought about like the goal with dropshipping itself? You of course you want to get the materialistic stuff like the McLaren, etc. But is this something what you're passionate about and you're thinking about moving into later? So let's say you like the branding, you like the e-com stuff, you like the copywriting stuff. Is this something that you really resonate with?
I think I think if I were to go down the traditional path, I feel like I would be trapped a lot. I think a lot of the skill sets that I had would literally get shadowed out and it would just be forced from technology. So I guess with this, I can encompass so many of my other skills where, it's very, very holistic business. I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Kind of went on a tangent there.
No, it's you're doing right now drop shipping, but do you see yourself doing different stuff like next year? What's your goal? Is this your stepping stone to another business, or what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think there's so many holistic skills within e-commerce. I think I'm just going to ride it out for as long as I can. And like I said before, either pivot or push out of it. Of course, there's other avenues of growth. There's other avenues of revenue. I'm just trying to explore what I can before making the most out of Google Ads.
Yeah, that's good because I think this is the most amount of money that you ever made in your life, right? 9.8K in profit, which is very, very clean. But you told me you started a niche store with Google Ads. Can you a little bit explain how this one started and how you came up with the niche, or how you do? If you start a new Google Ads store, like fully running on Google Ads, what's the strategy that you would use or what you would do?
I think definitely strategies taught within the course itself. So these would be 1,000 product, 2,000 product stores that a lot of the VAs would handle. And then I guess just finding a great niche that goes on with market trends at the very moment and just pushing hard and, not giving up, just being very resilient on that. If you know the market's going to go up, the demand for the niche is already there, then I think you should just go all in at that point and,
Yeah, because I know the niche, of course, where you're in. It's just a generic niche that everybody can enter. Like everybody knows about this niche, and everybody buys in this niche. And I think that's why your store is doing pretty good. This is just because the demand is already there. It's the same with a baby niche. Everyone gets babies every day. People need baby stuff every day. So it makes sense to make a baby niche store, for example.
We're not reinventing the wheel here. It's just literally funneling all this crazy demand into our store.
Yeah. And how did you came with your niche? Did you have like some ideas about it, or it just happened, or?
I think I saw some trending products on Meta, and I kind of created a store around those products. But this niche is something that I'm very passionate about, so it's kind of easy for me to identify with it. But even with these other stores I'm creating overseas, like home decor, these are things that I don't really have, a lot of experience in. I still think the process is very straightforward and just finding trends and capitalizing on them.
Yeah. All right. And now you created your new Dutch store. Are there any more ideas that you want to execute this year? What's your thought? What are you doing in Q4? How many stores are you running? What's your dream?
I think by the end of this month, I want to have 4 live stores. So definitely continue on my US store, the Dutch store as well. Then I also want to create stores in Germany and France. That'd be the end of the month. And then I guess kind of pivoting and understanding what the best niche is, where can I identify myself in, what can I capitalize the most in Google Ads, and push that across overseas into different markets. I think that would be the plan.
Yeah, that's a good one. Did you try different business models before dropshipping? You did some coding stuff, but the coding, was this for your own business, or was this something that you did for someone else?
I always did it for myself. I was very entrepreneurial minded, and I knew for a fact I wanted to escape the rat race, like you said. So I'd build these mobile apps for months on end. I would build these SaaS companies months on end just for myself. But like I said before, I didn't really see a light at the end of the tunnel there. And it took so long to get my first paycheck, which I didn't even get. So this is something that was a little bit more fast, but more sustainable in that sense as well.
Okay. And how did you find out about dropshipping in the start?
I think it was one of my friends who suggested it during quarter 4. Of course, you're also going to see a lot of content for it then. So I was kind of fed into that whole TikTok gold rush made with TikTok Shop. And then after that, I think I took a little bit of a break. I went experimented with Facebook, didn't really see any gains. And then I think for me, just finding about Google changed my entire life. And I knew I had to capitalize on that.
Yeah. And then you just saw Hank's YouTube channel. You saw in the description or something, I think, or something, the community. You joined in. This means that you get in contact with me and with Hank. And I think in just the first week we explained, or the second week we explained the strategy, and you just implemented it, and that made the whole business, way more profitable and way more scalable as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think the strategies that you guys provide are tried and true. I think they'll honestly work for anyone if they just put the work in.
Yeah. Is this something, this business model, and even with this sales platform like Google, is this something you would recommend to anyone?
I think it's a very simple thing to do. It's not easy, but it's definitely very simple. I don't really think it takes a certain type of person to do it, as long as you're, I guess, hardworking and can kind of implement the strategies that are being presented. Then I think literally anyone can make it in this business.
Do you think this was way easier in comparison with the TikTok and Facebook, or what's the difference a little bit for you?
100%. I think it's more of a hands-off approach. Again, with TikTok and with Meta, you're stressing about, ROAS every single day, ROAS every single hour. Should I raise the budget? With Google, I mean, you literally get the data from Google of what your ROAS should be. And once you set it to that, it's a very consistent long-term thing. Like I said before, it's a plus or minus 10% every month. Like, that's kind of crazy to literally sit back, just focus on the store, just focus on the products, and let Google handle the rest. It's a very automated and very smart AI system.
And if we go and take a look into your business right now, how does your structure look like, and how does your team do you have a team right now?
I just have a team of 2 VAs, but other than that, I'm handling all the product research and store development.
All right. So tell me, what does a day of Austin look like?
Day of Austin, I guess, is very busy, but just with the e-com side, I would first do some product research, understand what I want to present on my store. I would then send that to my VA, and I guess manage him consistently throughout the day, make sure he's doing good work. And then I also have one VA to kind of help him out. So in case like he's doing some busy work, I want to put the work off him, make him more focused on exactly what his job is. So I guess the team of my 2 VAs, I kind of monitor and I make sure that they can work cohesively and efficiently.
Nice. And that's just for the products. So you also have someone on customer support?
I actually don't have someone on customer support. I think that's a huge pitfall. But at least for the store in the US, when I created it, I kind of felt like it was my baby. Like, this is my company. I want, especially because customer support is so important. I think that's definitely something I'm going to have to do in the future, because it is a lot of work. But I like being at the forefront of my business. I like speaking to my customers and understanding where I could go better. Let's just say a certain product was a different color, or let's say their dog's not playing with this product for whatever reason.
Yeah.
These are things I can kind of pivot my business based on. So I think literally just the customer experience and understanding their perspective of my products has made a huge change for me, although it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I think I always suggest doing 1K a day with pretty good quality products as well. It will be no big hustle to do the customer support. But to be honest, after you do on average 1K plus a day, you will notice 20 to 30 emails coming in every day. Then you're like, okay, now I need to do something else, because this is still let's say you handle an email within 5 minutes. It's still 1.5 hours that you're just wasting on the back end of your store. Plus, it's where all the negative energy is also collected. And that's something you don't want to take it with the rest of the day with you. You only want to focus on the positive side and make sure that the negative side gets managed as well. So that's your next step. And I think you will notice you have an extra hour a day of spare time. You can do more product research. You can launch more stores, etc. Just use the leverage that you have, because your pay slip is way higher than the regular VA. So you can always better handle the VA customer support than yourself, of course.
Right. So kind of delegate all the busy work and outsource, just focus on the, I guess, high level business strategy.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. All right. And now we're just taking a look in the future. I heard you booked a one-way ticket to Bangkok. That's just what you told me. What are your plans? Why did you want to move out in the first place?
I think my life right now living with my parents is very structured, but I do think to make it from these 15K profit months to 100K profit months, I need to literally change who I am as a person, my habits, the environment that I'm in especially. I feel like, of course, I'm very happy where I grew up, but if I can do the same work I'm doing now, but in a skyrise apartment, top floor, I think some of that energy where it comes to more the abundance mindset, I think that will transform my business.
Yeah, because now you're situated in New York. You you never experience like this high energy of the city, or like the people? You still think you're surrounded with the wrong environment?
Still think there's a lot of love in New York, but I feel like just the isolation aspect where it's all right, I'm not with my family anymore. I've removed all these degenerate friends. Like I'm literally in a new country by myself just with this business. It's more of like an all-in kind of push. I think there's some pressure of where it's like I really have to make this work. I think I'll see bigger returns from that.
Nice. And what did your friends tell you when you told them?
All crazy. Because I was
Really?
supposed to be with them in college next semester. So they're a little bit butthurt, but I think it's for the best for me.
And you're moving totally alone, or do you travel with someone to Bangkok?
I'm moving totally alone. It's kind of like an independent move. But even in this community, I think a lot of people are from Thailand as well.
Yeah.
So definitely have a lot of good meetups and improve my network from there. But this is more of like a solo, like I need to do this by myself kind of move.
Yeah, nice. And why did you decide Bangkok and not like Dubai, Bali, or something? What was around Bangkok?
I was in Dubai actually earlier this summer and I loved it. I loved it so much. But I think a good stepping stone for me, because the cost of living is so low in Thailand, I can kind of afford to, see these luxurious items and like increase my mindset for them and still live in an area where it's nice and clean and friendly. But in my apartment, I'm going to be paying $500 a month for like literally the top floor with an infinity pool, amazing gym right next door. Like these are a lot of the amenities that I wouldn't find anywhere else, especially for the price that I'm paying for.
Yeah, and how much are you going to pay?
I think it's around $500 to $600 a month from the apartments I'm looking online. I
Wow.
think I'm gonna go there first and go apartment
Yeah.
exploring, have an Airbnb and figure out exactly where I want to live. But just
Yeah.
the options seeing online are absolutely insane. They're incredible.
And the rest of your stuff, like your desk, etc., you will leave it with your parents, and you will just travel with like one big suitcase and just build a life there.
Yeah, completely build a life. Again, I think that would be more of a short-term thing. So a couple months just to slam quarter four and then kind of reevaluate my life and where I want to go from there.
Yeah. Because do you think you still want to live in the States as well? I've been sometimes in the States. You guys have a totally different energy than here in Europe. But I can imagine, like when I was in LA, for example, in comparison with Houston, there's a totally big difference in energy and mindset, etc. Of course, like all the shit that happens with financial districts in Miami, is it something that you're like, oh, I see myself still living in USA, but just different states?
Yeah, I mean, the US is such a big country. I think people fail to realize that. It's a completely different world from East Coast to West Coast. So there's a lot of good opportunities here. I think I need some more time, just traveling everywhere, seeing my life, seeing different aspects of life, and then I can kind of decide where I want to live, how I want to live my life. But I think the US will definitely be a cornerstone because my parents live here. So I will be traveling back and forth from time to time. But as for my full-time living, I'm not sure as of yet.
Yeah, nice. And for everyone that's watching right now and they want to start their own business as well, do you think it's still doable to start dropshipping 2024?
That's such a funny question. I'm so glad you asked that. I think people always say that it's a low barrier to entry. There's too much competition. In my eyes, that's the best thing in the world. Literally the best thing in the world. Because you can join, use the strategies that are presented in this course, and then try something just a little bit different. Just make a little tweak here, a little tweak there. And you can increase like the level of what you're performing at by so much. So I think you should start looking at these things with a good mindset. If there's competition, that means it's working. It has been working. And a lot of the people that you see, they're talking about Facebook, they're talking about TikTok. Not a lot of people are talking about Google Ads, dropshipping. It's literally a gold mine at this moment. So I would suggest to them just capitalize on this as soon as you can, understand a lot of the strategies, understand a lot about yourself and how business runs as a whole. And then from there, you're always welcome to pivot and push. But I think ecom is tried and true. It's going to be there forever, no matter what anyone says.
Yeah, that's totally true. And do you think our like 90 days to online freedom community will help these type of people as well? Like, do you think the content will suit in there?
It's absolutely amazing. I literally think there's not one part of the business that's left out in the community. Even if I were to join with zero experience, I do think that the information and the one-on-one help that you guys provide, I feel like anyone can get for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick of a steal for this amount of time that we put in. But to be honest, I still think if you if you're confident with sharing this amount of value for like nothing, almost for like almost $0 for this is what I feel for, I think you will receive a lot of value back as well. And this is what I love with the community as well. Talking to you guys, talking with you here one-on-one. There is also a part where I learn a lot of you guys as well, because this is exactly where I was 4 years ago. I went into the trenches as well. I stopped with my 9-to-5 job, made like a big school, like how you call it, like a college debt as well. So I had a big study loan. So now I just paid back everything, moved out as well, and now I'm just living the life, and this is amazing. And I would love to see a lot of people have this kind of life, because I don't think we're made for the 9-to-5 modern slavery, just doing your stuff and not thinking about the dreams that you really have.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like a lot of people live their life so straight and so linear. Like they're given free will for a reason. So literally make the most of it. Just try to find fulfillment in anything you can. And with ecom for me, I've increased my life so much, my life happiness so much, and it's even providing a lot of time, location, financial freedom. It's probably the best avenue to go down.
Yeah, nice. All right, so let's round it up a little bit. What are your so you're wanting to run 4 different stores in different countries. What kind of revenue do you want to hit this year?
This year, I think I have very ambitious but very reasonable goals. I want to do at least $500,000 in Q4. I know that for a fact. That's on my bullet board. It's on my whiteboard. I look at it every morning. I think that's a goal that is very attainable and would be very measurable for me as well.
Oh, nice. And how do you structure your whole day? Because you told me the structure of your team, but tell me, what do you do in a personal way as well to get to this goal?
Yeah, my life is a bit busy. You want like a day by day, like an hour by hour?
Yeah. What's your perfect day to manage this business?
Yeah, so my life is very busy. I wake up every day at 6 in the morning. I go for a quick 3-mile run, come back, have some food, get another workout in, and then I kind of start my business day around 11 o'clock or noon. So I guess from there I'll be working until 6:30. At 6:30, I start reading, journaling, meditating, and then go to bed and then do it all the next day. So my life is very structured, and I think what comes with that structure is a lot of mental clarity. Because when you're doing the same stuff at the same time every day, you're able to perform better. So I think, just having a lot of structure. And then when I even see myself moving to Thailand, I think I'm going to be so dialed in on exactly what I'm doing every minute of the day, where I'll have no excuses, with traffic or anything, no excuses,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, true. I just came back from Thailand. To be honest, I loved it. I loved it. I went to Phuket, so that's totally different. That's the Miami of Thailand. I definitely recommend to go there as well. There's a lot of distractions, to be honest, but I still think it's so good to see like the totally different way of living, because you will even appreciate the small things as well. Like I'm here back in the Netherlands just for my team meetings, and when I noticed that I pay here like, let's say €4 for a cappuccino, for just like a regular coffee, and then you're going to Thailand where it's maybe like 80 cents, for example. We ate watermelons for like 60 cents and coconuts for 30 cents. I'm like, oh, this is just where life of quality is all about. Just eating a coconut on the beach for like maybe 30 cents, having a nice mojito for like 50 cents, and just stay in the nice and best hotels and rooms for maybe €30 a day. It's pretty amazing. But I still think, and this is really good what you're doing. The next step for you would be to get to these kind of places where people also go to when they want to be like this digital nomad, right? This digital nomad life, like work-life balance in control. And I still think if you outgrow that, but like maybe after the first quarter, you will just think about, okay, is this environment, is this serving me in the right way? So maybe even moving back to the States, but just into a high penthouse in Miami where like all the killers are in your state, you will notice instantly as well a physical growth as well. So that's what I expect. That's what I managed to get as well. The first times that I did travel, I went 4 times to Dubai with my friends that had way more money than me, and they spent so much money. I was like, holy shit, and they don't fucking care about spending this money. I need to do this as well. So I came back with a lot of motivation. And since 2 years, I totally moved out of the Netherlands, and now just like have manifested everything that I want. And now I just can do everything in abundance. So a life full of abundance in time, energy, love, money, dude, I think that's the ultimate flex.
Yeah, that's the ultimate flex. I think that's the goal in everyone's life,
Yeah.
just freedom over everything.
Yeah, you're just 19, right? You're turning 20 this year, so you have like your whole life in front of you. What if you want to manifest one big thing in your whole life, what's like the goal? Like, let's say the B hacker, like the big hairy audacious goal in 10 years, what would you be doing, or what do you see yourself doing?
I think it's a bit difficult to answer because I kind of live my life like on a year-to-year basis of
Yeah.
exactly goals. I think right now I am focused on e-com, and I think the main focus on that is just for freedom. So financial freedom, time freedom, having more control and bargaining my life on my own terms. I think that's super important right now. And then after that, once I achieve very holistic freedom, I'm very open to giving back. So some crazy ideas that I have would be like, of course, like Iman Ghazi, like build these orphanages in third world countries, provide value back to the world the same way it's provided back to us. So I definitely think freedom is the first step, and then giving back would be the second step.
Yeah, nice. And what about your coding background? Is it something that you would do as well, but on a higher leverage? Is it something that intrigues you as well?
I'm passionate about coding when I'm coding for myself. I'm coding my own apps, I'm coding my own businesses. I find I lose a lot of the fulfillment and a lot of the passion when I'm coding for somebody else, whether it be an internship, through a job, through even through school. I feel like just having that freedom on my life, I feel like that's the most important thing for me. So maybe coding will come back if I develop my own SaaS company, but it would be very high level, like more business kind of focused.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, nice. Well, last question is what kind of advice would you have to the younger Austin that's thinking about doing drop shipping, thinking about, oh, is this something that's doable for me? Because I think a lot of people will be here in checking this video and they're like, yeah, Austin can tell me a lot, but I don't think I can do it. What would you tell them?
I would say just do it. I think there's a lot of sacrifice and a lot of risks that come to this business, but I think you'll really only understand once you're already in. I've always said this, that the highest barrier to entry is just start. With drop shipping, I would spend all these months researching, watching all these different YouTube videos, and really I was doing nothing in return. But the most amount of knowledge and the most amount of expertise I developed was just in the first couple weeks of me just saying, all right, I'm just going to do it, put all my life into the store and see where it comes. I think I've learned so much more about the business by doing it than by watching. I think that's super important. I think information overload leads to a lot of like decision paralysis. It leads to a lot of stagnancy and complacence. Like, I think you should just dive in head first and figure it out along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's some good advice, man. And if people want to get in touch with you, are you on social media? Can people follow you somewhere?
Yeah, I don't have that big of a social media presence as of now, but it is something I want to get into. So I guess my links will be in the description. You can find me Romas, ROMAS .ecom on Instagram for now.
Ah, nice. You're building your own personal brand around e-com on Instagram. I think it's good. I think just some quick tips, indeed, like share more knowledge that you have, because it seems like you have some knowledge as well. Just share your story. And I think people will love to see how you go from moving out of New York to Thailand and just exploring the whole life, just like a teenage kid that's just made like his first adult move and just getting feedback from life. I think that would be amazing, man.
Yeah, 100%. Whatever value I can bring back to other people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. It was a good chat with you. I love talking with you, and I hope to see you grow even more. But I think in the community we will see you grow like insanely. And let's see how you can build this multi-million-dollar business, man.
I'm excited. I mean, the steps are already there. Just have to capitalize. Thank you so much, Jesper, for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having this call. See you later.
See you later, Jesper.